Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to today's Advisicon Academy training. My name is Mina Anquist, and I'm a marketing assistant here at Advisicon. We are a group of authors, teachers, consultants, and technologists offering training in Microsoft technologies and project management and methodology. With attending any of our training sessions, we offer PDUs as we are a registered education provider with the Project Management Institute. At the close of today's session, I will give some instructions on how to claim your PDUs and how to contact Advisicon for any questions you may have. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few things so you know how to participate in today's event. Please review the control panel that should be on the top right of your screen. The audience is muted during this session, so in order to ask questions, you will need to submit them in the questions window of the control panel. This webinar will be recorded and uploaded on the Advisicon YouTube channel for those who could not attend today's session live. Please note that any questions or comments submitted will not display in the recording, nor will any of your personal information be shared. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's instructor, Michael Rimmer, who is one of our project advisors and who I will now hand this presentation over to.
Thank you very much, Mina. Like she said, my name is Michael Rimmer. I'm a project advisor at Advisicon. One of the things I really love doing is working with technology and people, and I'm a experienced trainer as well. Let's get started with today's Webinar Wednesday. Today's agenda, I'm going to be talking briefly about what is Microsoft Planner and what is Microsoft Teams, why I should use Planner within Teams, and then I'm going to go into a demo. After that, I'm going to talk briefly about where Microsoft is going with these two tools, and then we'll have some time for question and answers. All right, the first thing is why use Planner? Well, Planner is really a web-based tool designed for a group of people to work together to organize their plans and teamwork on various ad hoc projects. One of the things that why Planner is really good for that is because Planner is a central hub for team assignments and team tasks. It's very flexible in how you can assign and organize tasks, and you can really track the progress of those individual tasks at a glance, as well as progress of the overall Planner board or project. Planner also has the capability of tracking individuals' progress using some of the charts that come with it. And personally, I really like it because it has a very clean and unobtrusive look to it. And why might you use Planner within Teams? Well, Teams is also an easy to use central hub for team communication. You can organize and conduct your meetings and work together on files in it. And so if you're already using Teams, then there's no reason why you can't use Planner within it. It saves you a couple of clicks instead of going to the web and using Planner there. You can just access everything directly within the teams that you're working with. With that being said, I'm going to dive right into a demo. We've got only about 20-25 minutes, and I want to show you a little bit about how to use Planner in Teams for project management. So let's exit out of my PowerPoint, and we're going to go right into Microsoft Teams. So I have a team here called Webinar Wednesday with a channel that's utilized Planner with Microsoft Teams. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And every channel that you create within a team will have a conversations tab where you can talk to everybody within that team or within that channel. You can have a files, a document repository, a wiki, and then you have the ability to add tabs, which I have done up here. I've added a sprint-based planner tab and a normal planner tab. To add a Microsoft Planner board to your Teams channel, all you have to do is come up here to this plus sign, add a tab. Out of all of these options, you select the Planner option. If you want to post the channel about and inform them that you are adding this, you can. I'm going to deselect that. And here you have the ability to create a new plan or use one that's already existing within this team. Now, this option is only going to pull from the Office 365 group that's associated with this team, which for me would be the Webinar Wednesday right up here. If you already have a planner board and you don't have it associated with an Office 365 group, one workaround with that is to use the website tab. If I go ahead and click on this and I type in, website planner board, you can paste in your URL, and this will give you a website view of your planner board. I'll show you that in just a moment. Let's say also that you are using Planner and it's already associated with an Office 365 group, but you don't have a Teams created yet. Well, one thing that you can do to get it right here within Teams is you can go to your Office 365 group through outlook.office.com, go down to your groups. I have Webinar Wednesday selected. And then you would just go to your SharePoint site that's associated. So go ahead and click that. I'm going to come up here, and here's my SharePoint site. Now this is a little bit small. I'm going to make it bigger for you. You can see down here on the bottom left, Microsoft gives me the option to create a team directly from this group. If I go ahead and click on that, it's going to create my team for me. I also have the ability to do that by going down here within Microsoft Teams, clicking on Join or Create a Team. And if I just create a team right from there, I can create one from an existing Office 365 group. And that's how you can bring your Office 365 groups right into Teams, which if you had a planner board associated with that Office 365 group, you can bring it right in here. I did mention that I was going to show you the website function. So if I come up here to Hub Planner, and I'm going to grab on my Webinar Wednesday planner board. Oops, I selected the wrong one. The sprint-based planner board. If I come up here, I just grab that URL. I'm going to go back to Microsoft Teams, add in the tab website. I said website-based planner board. Paste that right in there. It's going to give me that multi-factor authentication. Microsoft has great security. Oh, there we go. Okay, so then you can see my planner board is right up here. Now, as you can see, this is showing the website version. I currently have dark mode on my Microsoft Teams. So if I go to the same planner board, but I use the tab version for Microsoft Teams, you can see that it's going to adapt the dark mode version for my planner board. Now I'm going to dive in a little bit to using Planner within Teams. I've already talked about how to bring or migrate your planner board directly into your Teams channel. And now that we have done that, or we have created a new one, what's the benefit of using it here and using Planner for your team for project management? Well, the easy to access ability is pretty straightforward, but as you can see, I have created two different planner boards. One is sprint based and one's a normal Kanban, and I'll show you the Kanban board here in just a moment. But if you work on a sprint based system, you can organize your planner board just like I have here, or a little bit differently depending on how you guys do it. Creating a backlog bucket, a sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. What I've outlined here is something that we do all the time at Advisicon, which is a project online deployment, configuration, training, Power BI report development, all in one kind of deliverable. And I have outlined some of the tasks that we do here. So sprint 1, we have to sign the contract, gather requirements. Sprint 2, provision the project online instance and configure it. This is very high level right now, but step 3 or sprint 3, set up the test data and migrate the data from project server to project online. We have our backlog set up here. Let me dive into a little bit of some information. So the nice thing about Planner is that they really give you a lot to work with. As you can see, I clicked on a task and I dove into this information where I can see what bucket it is in. I can see the progress, if it's been started or if it's been completed. Microsoft just came out, and some of you may not have this yet, but a priority selection. So you can determine if a particular task is urgent and important, of medium priority or low. You can designate a start date and a due date for particular tasks, description and checklist, adding attachments and all that fun stuff. One of the things that I've done up here is I've created my own little priority checklist. Now, priority doesn't show up on your task just within this view here, unless it is urgent or important. So let's say the requirements gathering is urgent because we still have 4 documents to go through, and this is due by Friday, or was that today? By Friday, and so I'm marking that as urgent. We gotta get that done quickly. You can see the little urgent icon here, but moving it back to medium or to low, there is no priority field. So I've gone ahead and made my own over here with these labels. You can choose to do this in any other way that you deem fit. I've seen clients use it for like departments or accountability, like who owns this, who not who's doing the task, but who is responsible for or accountable for getting it done. So there's many different ways that you can use these labels up here. It's typically best practice to not assign more than one label to a task, so just keep that in mind. But this is essentially what all the information that you're going to gather for the particular task. So I have this kind of lined out in a sprint formation. As tasks become completed, you can move them from sprints as you need to, move them over. Oops, I accidentally moved that one into the completed category, so I'm gonna move it right back out. We can move tasks from the backlog over to the other sprints, move everything up as we have our meeting. Yeah, this is one particular way that you can utilize Planner for project management within teams. Now, I did mention charts in the schedule view, and I'll go over that over the next Planner. If you don't use sprints as your rhythm of business, you can go ahead and set them up entirely differently. So taking the same example, a project online deployment, configuration, training, report building, and all of that, and setting it up in this format. We have our bucket for project kickoff, project online, Power BI, training, and project wrap up. Here you can see we have assigned tasks to everybody that's required that needs to do it. You can see that some of these are urgent. We have to sign the contract by today, and Dave is responsible for that. I still have the labels here. I have not filled them out for these tasks because working on a Kanban more system rather than a sprint, I felt personally that just seeing what's urgent and important is what matters for me here. So different processes for different folks, depending on what you're looking for. So those are a couple of different ways to use Planner within Teams. I've shown you 2 examples that are filled out. Teams is increasing its ability to work with SharePoint, Planner, To-Do, Flow. If you are not aware, you can, let me actually go to Planner real quick. If I come up here, you can set your notification settings by clicking on the little cogwheel. And have Planner send me notifications when someone assigns a task to me. Now, this is a semi-newer function where you can receive a Teams message from Planner or a bot from Planner that says, hey, you have just been assigned a task. Those are the kind of things that Microsoft is continuing to innovate and push out and help with project management and being on top of your tasks and working with Planner, their tool. So it makes sense to me that Planner is the #1 tab that's used within Microsoft Teams at around 139 million users. So I'm going to go back to my demo, or to my PowerPoint, and talk a little bit about where Microsoft's going. So if you're not aware, Skype for Business is going to be phased out around July 31st of 2021. It doesn't mean that Skype for Business isn't going to be working anymore, but it means that third-party audio conferencing providers will stop working. So having to dial in for Skype for Business for conference calls won't work. Microsoft is moving towards the use of Teams. Teams is taking over. Another neat point is that Microsoft is in process of rolling out private channels for Teams. So if I was to, actually, let me demonstrate that for you real quick. If I was to go to my Webinar Wednesday and create a new channel, let's say private channel, I have this new privacy button here. Now this is just very, very new and recent. It may not be rolled out to all tenants yet, so keep your eye out for it. But if I go over here and I click private, then I have to manage and add the specific people that will have access to this private channel. So let's do Dave Benz. Now even though there are more people that are associated with my team, only him and I can see this channel and have access within it. Now, in regards to Planner, the ability is not there yet to add a Planner board within a private channel. Because the members of a Planner board are associated with an Office 365 group, you can't have that Planner board pull only the private channel members. A good workaround for that would be to have a Planner board that you create from tasks.office.com, have it be a private, invite only Planner board, and then use the method I showed you earlier, which is the copy of the URL and adding a website tab. Then you can still have your Planner board within that private channel and not worry about it, but you can't do it natively based off of the Office 365 group. All right. So with that being said, I am done. Mina, are there any questions?
All right, it looks like we have 3 questions. First one is, what are the differences or limitations to adding a Planner board to a Teams channel using the Planner app versus the website link option?
What are the differences of, I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
What are the differences or limitations to adding a Planner board to a Teams channel using the Planner app versus the website link option?
That's a great question. The only difference between using Planner in Teams and using Planner on the web is that you cannot mark a Planner within the Teams using the Planner tab. You cannot mark this board as a favorite. That's the only difference. You can delete the Planner board and everything. You can assign people. You can add people that are not a part of your team. Microsoft has been working on adding full functionality of Planner within Teams rather than using the website. Now, adding in the website as a task or as a website tab and putting in the URL, as you can see, I have the ability to view the Planner Hub within this tab. I have the ability to look at other planner boards that may not be associated with this particular team. So I could look at, this demo plan, which may be associated with an entirely different Office 365 group. So there is that benefit there. I would maybe recommend that if you wanted to have the website as a tab instead of just using the planner board tab, to do that, something like that within the general channel. So for an example, we have a professional services team here. If we have a different planner board for every client, it may make more sense that we have a website with the URL just for the Planner Hub, where we can go in and select the individual client planner boards instead of having one that's just for internal professional services. But if I have a planner board that is directly related to this team or to this channel within this team, then it would make more sense for me to use the Planner tab and have the more retail space and the lack of the navigation bar that the website comes with. And I think it just looks better.
Okay.
Other than that, there are no other limitations.
All right. So moving on to our second question.
Sure.
Is there a way to add dependencies from one task to another?
That's a great question, and there is not. So that was a choice very distinctly and intentionally made by Microsoft regarding Microsoft Planner. For dependencies and linking tasks together, they have designated the program Microsoft Project. Now, some of you may not know, but Microsoft has just released, as of last week, a new project for the web. Project for the web is a new application that's web-based that has the capability of using a Gantt chart and a task list that can be transformed into a Kanban board of what you see here. It's a medium version of Microsoft Project. It's the in-between of Planner and Microsoft Project, which you can link dependencies for that. However, it is not accessible to people with just Office 365 licenses. You would need to have the Microsoft Project Plan 1 license for that or anything beyond. If you also want to know more about Microsoft Project for the web, please look at our website. We are doing a modern project Mondays. So yeah, but to answer your question, I got off a little rabbit trail there. There are no dependencies within Microsoft Planner, and that was intentionally designed.
Okay, and then we have another question. Can you show the chart in schedule view?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I absolutely went past that. So as you see up here, there are 3 different views that I can look at for my planner board. If I go ahead and click on charts, because I completed 2 tasks while you were watching me, I now have a little bit of green on here, but you can see that the overall planner board status, what has not been started, what's currently in progress, what's late. Let me go ahead and go back real quick. Let me make some test changes. So let's say that's in progress, and I'll have this sprint 1 task due in the past. I made those couple of changes. You can see that now that this task is in the past, it's red, letting us know right away that it's late. If I come in here, this immediately has been updated based on the information within my board. And we can see that I have 1 late task, 2 that are in progress. I have 2 tasks within sprint 2, 2 tasks within sprint 1, 5 tasks within backlog. None of the backlog has been started, which is fine. I would be a little weary that I have 1 late task in sprint 1, but 2 that are in progress for sprint 2. And then I can see who's assigned and who's working on it. Travis is late on his task, but Maria and I are currently working in progress. So this is the chart view for Microsoft Planner. On the right-hand side of it, I can see all the tasks based on the buckets. I have the ability to add a task. Here's my backlog, sprint 2. I can change this too. I can go up here to this group by, I can group it by assigned. Here are the tasks that I'm working on. Here are the tasks that Maria and Travis are working on. I have the ability to group it by labels or priority, what's urgent, what's important or medium or low, what's been completed. This is a great tool to check on the status of your planner board. The last view here is schedule, and this is just your straight calendar view. You can look at it through by month or by week. You can change your weeks, change your months. I don't have a lot of, I think I completed the tasks where I put in a due date. And you have the same view over here on the right-hand side.
Okay, and then we have one more question. Can you create recurring tasks?
That's a great question. You cannot create reoccurring tasks, and this has been an ask from end users to Microsoft for quite a while. Microsoft has created the ability to copy a task. So maybe as a workaround for right now, you can go ahead and click on the task detail, the little ellipsis, copy this task. And actually what's kind of nice about this is you can copy the assignment, copy the progress if you want, don't want to copy the date for a reoccurring task. But then you can even copy it to the same bucket, or you can copy it to the same plan. You can even change what plan you want to assign it to. Let's go ahead and change this and copy this task to Sprint 2. And now I have it on both. So you don't have the ability to create reoccurring tasks, but there is the ability to copy a task from one plan to another or within the same plan. That way, if you have like a huge description or multiple checklists, items, or an attachment associated with it, you can just bring all that over.
All right, that looks like all for questions today.
Great, thank you. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for attending today's webinar. We welcome your questions and feedback. For more information, you can email us at contact@advisicon.com. Once you exit today's webinar, you will receive a survey on the presentation. You will need to complete and submit the survey to receive your PDUs. From there, you will receive a follow-up email within 2 business days with your PDU information. On behalf of Advisicon, Michael and myself, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you participate in future webinars. Have a great day, everyone.